Welcome to the Soul Success Summit, where we share inspiration and guidance, how to succeed on the goal line and soul line. My name is Katja Rusanen, and I'm your host. And I love helping coaches and healers shine their light, share their gifts, and succeed on purpose. And I'm here now with Dr. Alisha Dash, who is known for her rare attunement to the highest archangels. Alisha has facilitated over 300 personal growth seminars over 2 decades, and her private practice is full with a year's waitlist. And she is masterful in the fields of spiritual counseling, psychology, and personal growth. And she can assist you to release limitations from this life and past lives so that you may become entirely present to your spirit-led joyous life and connect directly to spirit yourself. And that sounds wonderful. So let's find out more. So welcome to the Soul Success Summit, beloved Alisha. I'm so excited that you are here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
And can you share a little bit how you discovered your path, how you discovered archangels? Because that I'm sure many people are curious about.
Surely. Well, Katja, I was one of those strange children who heard voices and singing and knew things that I couldn't know at such a young age. And I grew up in rural Indiana, which is a very conservative state, and so I quickly learned to not share things with people that were of that nature because it really was hard for them to integrate and reconcile. And so my spiritual path was more internal until I left home. And then I was on several different paths. I was, I'm half Indian and half English. So I was a Buddhist and sort of a Hindu and practicing different forms of meditation and eventually landed on a path that's an amalgamation of Eastern and Western. It's esoteric Christianity and Eastern mysticism, which is sort of perfect for my culture. And it was at that point that I really started fully embracing my archangelic heritage and learned that the beautiful language I had been hearing was the language of the angels. Mm-hmm. And that I started then working with people very early on with bringing, of course, angels are messengers of light. And so I started doing spiritual intuitive counseling many really decades ago. And I didn't always mention the angels. They would inform the sessions initially until I could read the Akashic records myself. They would disseminate, they would read the records and then disseminate what I needed to share with the person. And because I could communicate with them, then I could then communicate. I was sort of an angel translator, if you will. And then once I could read the Akashic records, there were higher records, and then the angels would go and read them. And then I could then share that into the hearts of those who, first it was private practice and then became groups. And, this information would come through that seemed rather outrageous and about the archangelic and the human consciousness becoming one. And I would share this sort of very out there, highly esoteric information, and I would see a sea of nodding heads, people really getting the experience of it, where I'd be like, well, I would have thought that would have sounded, too out there. And people are like, no, I get that. And after many years of that and many seas of nodding heads, I started to get a lot more confidence. And now it's just very natural to be with people and to, as we all are, be a conduit of spirit and share from that place of divine unknowing, that place of attunement. And I initially it was really my own archangelic awakening, and I started facilitating others to really come into that awareness of their archangelic heritage. So that sounds a little funny because people are like, well, what do you mean I'm an archangel? Well, you see, if you're in this level, you're very likely an archangel. This is something, I can teach whole courses on. So I'm sort of giving you the cliff notes. But, and I really hope that our listeners will really go with the experience of it and see if it resonates in their heart. But just briefly, this human experiment, if you will, is a sort of latter-day experiment, and the angelic predates it by many trillions of years. And so likely if one is here and reaching into that higher path, they have an archangelic heritage that has been sort of, the veil has dropped on that so that they would engage in this world, which seems very dense. Sometimes we can feel kind of strangers in a strange world, or like somewhat alone. And so there's a veil between our archangelic heritage and this world so that we engage here. And once we gain enough evolution where we don't feel that we need to drop the body to connect directly to spirit, then that veil can be lifted, and now we can access those many thousands of lifetimes and access our archangelic acumen, which would be very specific to the individual. And they can then discover that, not to go back there, but to bring it all into this moment to really discover more what God was intending of them in this lifetime, what spirit was learning through them, through all their lifetimes.
And that's beautiful. And thank you for sharing, because I have experienced your beautiful work. And I can totally say that I was one of those nodding heads, like things that you share are so beautifully aligned and makes so much sense, and just opens and widens how we can see the world. And I know you are considered one of the world's angel experts, and especially with archangels. And this is a really broad topic. And I know we have limited time here. So what are you going to talk specifically about today?
Well, I would love to give our listeners, viewers, I'm sorry, I keep saying listeners because I have a radio show. So I've sort of trained myself to say listeners. I love that we can see each other. I would love to give our viewers a bit of an experience of it. I can give you a foundation of it, and then perhaps we can go into a very brief meditation to give our beloved viewers more of an experience of their winged nature.
That sounds beautiful.
So tell me a little bit about how much time I have, and then I can condense it.
10, 15 minutes. How is that?
Lots of time. For radio, where it's like you have 4 minutes to, discourse upon the world. So what is the value of working with archangels? Well, it's funny. I would say don't work with angels. And people are like, what do you mean? Aren't you the angel lady? Which I'm sure my dad would love that moniker. Sounds like the cat lady. No, I say don't work with angels, because there's bazillions of them, and you may be more evolved than an angel that comes in. Just because a presence doesn't have a body doesn't necessarily mean they're higher than us. This level is a hard level to navigate, and souls line up to get here. So I say work with only the very highest pristine great archangels. And the great archangels, there's about 30 to 40 of them when there's, Googleplex angels. And really only, 8 billion humans. So that 30 to 40, very pristine. And you can connect in with them, and they're an incredible bridge to spirit, to God, to the Christ, to the Divine Mother, right? And you go, well, why not just go directly to those? Which is a great question. Well, that's kind of a long distance call. Like if I could be here connecting with the Holy Spirit and not, disappear in a poof, right? I would absolutely do that. Or if I could walk around, seeing Christ in the trees, I would do that. But we get involved in our busy lives, and these very high consciousnesses, I don't want to say they're higher or lower, but they are a living bridge into pristine levels of spirit that we likely first encountered in the archangelic. So I've seen many people say, I want to have a greater experience of Buddha or Mother Mary or the goddesses or whatever. And when they go through that archangelic assist, it's a shortcut, if you will, they experience it very tangibly, because you see, the angels evolve oppositely to us. Angels are born in absolute surrender. They never forget they are divine, right? But they evolve to free choice because they are one with God's will, being a dissemination of divine intent, but they don't have free choice. So then humans, of course, are born with free choice. If I want to bonk my baby sister on the head, I can. If I want to rape and pillage, I can. Oops, next lifetime, right? So we evolve to that. Eventually that gets old and we evolve to that absolute surrender. Okay, not my preference, but thy will be done. Because ultimately that is always my preference, because that leads me to the deep and shining fulfillment of manifesting Spirit's intention of me, of being that living harvesting of God's learning in the particular area called my soul, right? So angels born in absolute divine remembrance evolve to free choice. We are born in free choice, evolve to surrender. Angels, when they evolve to that free choice, suddenly like, I now can choose into God or choose away from God. It's terrifying, right? And then they evolve then into having autonomy, spiritual sovereignness, and freely choose back into God, right? So that's God consciousness. That's a highly evolved soul. Humans, right, also evolve into sacrificing, surrendering our free choice of our own accord into God. And that's God freely choosing itself. So, but when we connect in with the archangels, when the two realms are becoming one in consciousness, not in actuality, angels are not physical. They're not going to come here and hang out with us physically, right? We're not going to see them like we see the roses there. In consciousness, they're becoming one, which, and this is a leap, my dear, but evolves God's consciousness, right? Because now we are freely choosing human into the absolute surrender, angel as God knowing and loving itself. And that's divine. So that's why. Does that resonate with you? Make sense?
Totally, totally. And I remember hearing that from you first time when you explained. I was like, aha, now things start making more sense here in the earth plane. So definitely beautifully shared. And I'm also looking forward to hear from our viewers how this resonates with them as well.
Absolutely. Do we want to go into a little experience, or would you like to ask me another question first? Because the experience doesn't have to take long.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because many of us have heard angels, but then the connection with having, like, where you will assist us as well with the experience. But why do so many people, in your opinion, struggle with the connection with the archangels and angels in general?
Yeah, well, angels are ubiquitous. They go across, even atheists believe in angels, right? Interesting. They go across all religions. They're in Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism. They're ubiquitous. I mean, whoever did angel branding was pretty much of a that must have been God. But really connect in with an angel and really experience their presence calls us to let go of our rational mind and to let go of our fear of otherness, to let go of our fear of something we can't see and can't tangibilize and can't control, and to open. First of all, we got to be humble, open to that divine assistance through something we can't see or feel or know or touch, right? We've got to be surrendered. We've got to use our spiritual sensing. So in this way, it's really the same answer as why is it a challenge to connect to spirit, to God, to the divine mother, etc. Well, because we've got to use our spiritual sensing. We don't hear God's voice like you and I hear each other's voices. I don't see God's eyes like I see your beautiful blue eyes right in front of me. Very tangible, right? So we have to use spiritual sensing. So that requires us to really hone into our sensitive nature. And that's confrontive to the ego, right? And so, and in a moment, I'll help you, we'll connect with an angel. But I think that's why it requires us to absolutely to surrender, to let go of a lot of conditioning. I mean, my parents certainly inculcated, our society inculcates us with the idea if it's not tangible, if it's not moving us forward on the goal line, it's not real. And yet I go, well, show me love, taste love, point to love. You can't, you just know it. Love is not even an emotion. It's a felt sense. Same with angels.
That's beautifully put and makes so much sense. Like, okay, all right. So now that also helps people now maybe having this experience. Like it is allowed to letting go and trusting as well, because I know my mind was often on the way because I wanted to figure it out. Like, how do you do it? Like, and then finding the way to just surrendering, as you say.
Surrendering and trusting and refining one's attunement. And then, that seems hard at first. It seems laborious. And yet, as we continue to do it, I've been doing this for decades now. And as we continue to do it, it becomes more tangible and more real than this world, not in an ungrounded way. I run a thriving business. I host a large radio show with the network has 1.6 million listeners.
Wow, that's amazing.
Listeners are not viewers. Thank you. Yeah, it's called Live Your Love, and it's on healthylife.net. I'll tell you about it more later. And that's that's my bridge. It's all with best-selling authors. We do, of course, get into the spiritual because that's just in my DNA, but it's a bridge into more of a mainstream because people are ready. They're hungry for the spirit. It's not just for the churches and the temples and the new age and these, the beautiful summits like this. It's I see more and more that people are ready to be open to spirit in a greater way. They just didn't know that's what they were looking for. They didn't know that was a God-shaped hole.
That's right. And now maybe we are ready for experiencing. So I recommend you to be, if you are viewing this, just being open to have this beautiful experience that Alisha is guiding us through. So take it away.
Thank you, dear. That was a very sweet invitation. So if you would just take a moment, just place a hand on your heart chakra, which is the middle of your chest, and really just press down upon your heart, really feeling your humanity. And then just as you would place your hand on the heart of someone you love, might be a partner, a child, a pet, you feel such unconditional loving coming from your hand and feel it coming back from them. I want you to now flood yourself with that unconditional loving, that tenderness. You're so worthy of your own loving, which comes directly from a God that is made of love. Take a deep breath in and breathe in love. And as you exhale, let go of anything less than love. Just surrender any judgments, againstness, fears. Let it all go into the light of the Holy Spirit. And now breathe loving into your heart. And as you exhale, connect in with each one present, each one to listen later. And just connect heart to heart. Know you're never alone. And now you feel upon your hands, upon your heart, another hand, one hand upon your heart, one upon your shoulder, a blessing being pressed into your beingness. And you're aware that this is your choice. You can allow this in, or you can turn it away. For angels don't inflict. They're simply there like a song in a stream next to you, where you can listen or you can turn away. Your choice, beloved. No right or wrong. Just be present. Take in a deep breath. Be aware now that you can relax back upon this beautiful godly being. Robes of light. Yes, it's subtle. But, and I will speak from the angels, we always surround you. We learn from you and we give to you. Spiritual awakening, resonance, and life. Only in alignment with the highest good. So breathe in now, breathe in the light of the Holy Spirit as we place this whole process into the light for the highest good. As an angel has come forward here, a specific great archangel. Her name is Asayala. In the angelic, Asayala, Asayala. And you can call her Asa for short, and she is the living bridge between the angelic and the human creations. And she says now, oh, my sweet children of light, your trials, your tribulations, your cries in the night are heard by us. We hold you. We hold for you. We hold in with you. We surround you now. You can give up those secret pains now. Let us take them and disperse them amongst the heavens. So on the count of 3, whatever that secret pain is, that judgment, that resentment, that fear, I'm just going to give it now to the angels. 1, 2, 3, breathe it out. And let's do it once more and let it be audible. Beautiful. And let them take it and scatter it amongst the stars, that you might go free, go lighter, that you might fly just a little, lifting up now, even while you drop a grounding cord deep into the earth and there touch the Tuan, the Christed orb, golden Christed orb, touching your hands upon it, which accesses you to all magical beings, angels, spirit realms, natural realms, the elements. You are never alone. You touch now into all those you have ever known. And now you even stay deeply rooted, flying up, soaring through all your chakras, lighting up each chakra, traveling up through the top of your head, the 7th chakra into the 8th chakra, through the realms of light, allowing the angel to take you up higher like a most godly shortcut. On her wings, you travel higher, aware of the pristine light of spirit of gold and white light. And you hear the sound, the celestial sound of tinkling bells of angels singing. And you release karma you no longer need here in an expedited way. As you travel up higher, perhaps hear the sound of violins, God strumming your heart. Awakening and lifting you, that you might know yourself as the presence of love, that all is well, and indeed all shall be well, that you're never alone, that these beings are here for you to take you into the highest realms of light, into the pristine evolution of the consciousness of the beloved. Taking a deep breath now, integrating, bringing into you all of this experience, and allow yourself to just affirm, I am an angel of light. I forgive all things, myself and others. I come into this moment wherein we are all love, all one. This I am, and so be it. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a beautiful. I just felt the energy uplifting and beautiful energy coming in. So that was a really beautiful experience that you guided us through. So I appreciate that. And now people might be like, as they are, they might be still floating, but
I hope so. I hope they're still floating.
as they are coming back, they might be like wanting to find out more about you and your work. And you have generously offered a couple of gifts for all participants. And then we have also a gift for those VIPs. So if you want to still upgrade as a VIP, you can. There will be a link below. So where you can upgrade. But can you share first maybe the gift that everybody will get?
Yes, I have 3 free gifts that everyone will get.
Yay!
Exactly. I love that dance move. You and I used to dance together.
Yes.
Spiritual dance class that led before COVID. So 3 free gifts. One is a really fun quiz. Actually, 200,000 people have done it this year alone.
Whoa.
And that is find out which archangel you are. Like kind of which superhero you are, which archangel you are. And it's really fun, but it also is surprisingly informative. So that's angelquiz.aliciadoss.com. And I know you'll share that with listeners, but it's
the links.
awesome. Angelquiz.aliciadoss.com. Find out which archangel you are, and then you get with that a video explaining your results and a special report. So that is really fun, really fun. Are you Archangel Michael or Raphael or Uriel? It's super fun. And then also I have, as I mentioned, a radio show that is getting a lot of traction. I just did a show with John Gray that's airing live on October 4th. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, author, who was a Buddhist monk for 9 years, actually, first before he wrote 30 best-selling books. It's a phenomenal, like, solve your relationship in 1 hour show. That was, and then I had Catherine Woodward Thomas, bestselling author of Conscious Uncoupling and Calling in the One. So a lot of bestselling authors, and they just go to healthylife.net Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If they don't remember this, they can just go to aliciadoss.com, which is my website. So the first Tuesday of the month, I always have a best-selling author or a thought leader on the show, and it's getting a lot of traction. So that's really fun. And on all different topics, not just angels. And then the third gift is for everyone is a really special gift. I have some online courses, and this gift is how to work with our intuition to create greater health and the perfect natural weight. And it's called Eating Love, So it's really about attuning and trusting our body to know what we need to nourish ourselves, and eating love. And so you'll give them that link. So that's a free course. There's about 5 or 6 modules of that. So those are my gifts for everyone.
Wow. That is so generous of you. And there is even more. If you're VIP, this is something else that you're going to be getting from Alisha. So can you share about the VIP gift?
I can. I'm really excited. This is the first time I've offered this. This is a course called Speaking from Spirit. There's 8 or 9 modules. I normally sell it, obviously, and for $67, and giving it free just for Soul Success Summit listeners, VIP listeners. And so it's really beautiful. It's a course where you really discover, what is it? What are those blocks to really freely expressing not only the truth as I perceive it, but speaking from spirit, not just about it, so that your words actually convey others into the experience of what you're talking about, right? But that's a learned skill. It's really learned the skill of how to get out of the way to allow spirit to speak through us. And so I love this course. It's called Speaking from Spirit, and you really you learn how to access, how does spirit speak uniquely through me, and how do I allow that expression fearlessly, right? So it's a completely built out course. There's 8 modules. The full course is 3 hours. It has videos, PDFs, and exercises. And that, I'm not going to give the link to download because that's only for your VIP.
Yes, they get the special link. So don't share that one. Yeah. But that is amazing. And it is so generous of you to give these gifts and all the beautiful work that you shared today and the wisdom. And now, as we are wrapping up here, I just want to ask, do you have some final words that you want to still share with the viewers?
Well, I really appreciate being here, and it's just an encouragement and not that anyone nominated me as your cheerleader, but I would like to say I'm calling you forward to whatever extent I can be a friend along the way, and just say our world is so in need of soulful leaders, of leaders who are pragmatic and grounded in this world. I'm obviously, my heart and soul is with the spirit, and it can be so easy to kind of float away or do a spiritual bypass, but to really be grounded and to be a conduit of spirit in a way that is relatable and in a way that is together, so that we are being responsible, contributing human beings, really walking our talk. This is not a path for the faint of heart. Oh my goodness, when you really give your life to spirit, that is not for chickens, I tell you. Goodness gracious.
I agree.
Right? Doesn't it call us forward into everything? It's like, I love the Mother Teresa quote of, I know God will never give me anything I can't handle, but could you not have so much faith in me? Right? And so I love you doing this, Katya. I've known you for so long, and you've always just been such a shining light and such a delight to have. And I've been honored to have you in my classes and seen you in many other classes. And I just am so thrilled that you've taken the courage, because one has to take to do this work, to put oneself out. I don't know, there's not much more that calls us forward into that, excuse the puppy, whose name is Halo, of course. There's not much more that calls us forward into that absolute fearlessness of putting ourselves out and going, yeah, I don't know if I'm worthy. I don't know if what I'm talking about makes any sense. I don't know if I'm too out there. I don't know if anybody's going to show up, but I'm not going to say no to the one who's calling me forward, which is spirit. I'm not going to say no to the one who's proffering a hand to lift me up and take many along with me. You know, it's a bold path, and I so applaud you personally, as I know and love you. And I so applaud those who are listening, who are wondering, could I be a life coach? Could I be a counselor? Could I talk to angels and share that? Could I be a musician? And I say, it takes a lot more strength, and it's a lot more painful to hold all that back than to just allow that expression, than to just allow yourself to sing the glory of your soul for those who can hear it. So, like I said, I don't know who nominated me or anyone else's cheerleader, but I'm so excited for your work and more people's work coming forward. You know, people are going, oh, well, who needs another life coach or another spiritual counselor? There's always room for the best.
That's right.
There's 8 billion people on the planet. There's way less than that of spiritual counselors and etc. There's always going to be room for those who are pure of heart, highly intended, and courageous of the spirit. So that's what I would have to say. Come forward, beloveds.
Thank you so much. And yes, you have that sparkly, joyful energy. So you definitely are a cheerleader for all of us. And I just want to thank you so much for your time today, Alisha, and all the work that you do in the world. And I want to also thank you for tuning in and watching the Soul Success Summit. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of light. Stay well and stay tuned for the next interview. Bye for now.
Bye.